What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're talking about how to travel while making money. If you're like me, I love traveling. I love experiencing other cultures, other countries, and it's difficult when you also need to make money at the same time. So what people often do when they're traveling is they'll save up money for maybe 6 months, 9 months, a year, and then they'll spend some time traveling and they'll be using that savings. But the kind of mindset shift that I want to maybe put in your head is that you can travel while getting ahead financially, while improving your career and expanding your career, expanding your financial freedom, expanding your finances in general. There's a way in which you can do that. So first and foremost though, before we get into that, I just want to say location depends on how much money you're going to need. So if you're in the United States and you want to travel within the United States, maybe like, full-time RVing or just traveling throughout the United States in general, or any kind of Western country, you're going to spend a lot more money than if you were in a different country. So there's a thing I like to call Geo Arbitrage. It's becoming more and more popular, and it's kind of associated with digital nomads. But essentially what a Geo Arbitrage definition would be somebody that makes, a Western currency, whether it's the US dollar or the euro, etc., and they bring it to a country where the cost of living is cheaper. So maybe places like Colombia, Thailand, Mexico, Argentina, Bali, etc., where the cost of living is a lot lower, and that dollar or that euro can go very far, and you can live a very, very good life for maybe a third of the price. So I actually have a friend that does this. He lives in Colombia full time, and he was telling me that he actually pays about $800 a month for everything, and that includes where he lives. I think he rents like a room or a studio. It's fully furnished. He goes out with friends drinking a couple of days a week, like 2 or 3 days a week. He usually eats out every meal, has coffee, stuff like that outside. And that's his full, everything included monthly cost in Colombia is $800. Now, think about that compared to being in the US. If you were living that same lifestyle in the US, it'd probably be more around the ballpark of maybe $3,000, $4,000 a month. So the first thing that you can do to automatically cut your expenses into thirds is by relocating to a different area or considering travel in different areas. So that would probably be the same for Colombia as it would for maybe Thailand, other places like that. So can you change your location, or can you travel in areas where the cost of living is much cheaper? Another aspect to look at is, can you go remote with the work that you're currently doing? So maybe you're an engineer. Can you do any of your engineering online? Can you do it via the computer? Maybe you are a personal assistant. Can you do that from your laptop? Maybe you work in an office somewhere. You work for a company. Can you take that home? Can you do that remotely? That's a big aspect, and probably the best place to start is using what you're already doing, but just requesting from your boss or from your company if you can go remote. That can get you your foot in the door very, very easily versus trying to go a different way. So I would say first place to start is with the current job you're doing. The whole idea though is trying to make the US dollar. Ideally, you want to make a Western currency that can be very strong in different countries. Also look at your skills and or experiences. So maybe you are a very good graphic artist. Maybe you can possibly get a job working in a firm somewhere, and you can do that online. There's a lot of different sites that you could look at to look for jobs. So you can go on Indeed. They have a ton of different options. They're probably one of the biggest job sites that you can go on. You can try Upwork as well. They're kind of good for maybe like, gig jobs, and you can kind of build a clientele from that. You can go on flexjobs.com. I think they do require a small payment monthly, but you can find unique online jobs on that site. You could try Fiverr as well. I know probably a lot of you guys know what Fiverr is, but you could sell your services on Fiverr, also 99 Designs. So there's a lot of places where you can find jobs online. And what kind of jobs are we talking about if not in those areas? So you could do customer service. That's a big one to recommend because it's usually very easy to get started in customer service. Doesn't usually take a lot of experience. A lot of these jobs are entry level. Now, they're probably not going to pay a whole lot US standards. It's probably going to be maybe like $10 to $15 per hour. But in a Colombia or a Thailand, that's huge. And that's, double or triple of what a local would make. So try customer service jobs, maybe even sales jobs if you can make commissions. And you can live off of those commissions in other countries that'll last a lot longer than the US. Maybe even teaching English. A lot of people do that overseas, but you can do it online as well. So you can do that one locally or online. Maybe even like a social media manager. You could, work for a firm and you can do it remotely. An insurance agent, maybe an administrative assistant, personal assistant, etc. A lot of these things can be done online. So maybe you can find a job at one of the sites I mentioned in maybe one of those categories. Another idea that you can do to be able to travel while still making money is to start your own business. Now, this is probably the most ideal one, at least in my opinion, is doing your own schedule, working at your own pace. But I'd say for this, you need to be a self-starter. You need to be somebody that doesn't need to be told what to do. You just do things without asking. So one great place to start is a YouTube channel. So actually here on my YouTube channel, I make a couple $100s a month. I make, anywhere from $200 to $300 a month, which is pretty good if you're in a different country. Now in the US, that's not even close to being something that is sustainable, but you can also start a lot of businesses from YouTube. That is just my revenue from actual YouTube itself, the AdSense paying me, but you could sell t-shirts from YouTube. You could, lead people to different products. You could have different blog sites that you lead people to. You can do affiliate marketing. You can sell, you can have a brand. There's a lot of things that you can do from YouTube. I actually think YouTube is a very underrated business that you can start. It really doesn't take any money at all. As long as you have a camera on your phone, you can start uploading videos and share your experiences, share your knowledge, share what you know, and you can create value. You can create a business from YouTube, and you can do it anywhere in the world, which is the nice part. Another business that you could do would be businesses via Zoom. So you could do like a language business that you could maybe teach people. For instance, myself, I actually teach a little bit of Spanish online. So I'm a fluent Spanish speaker, and I actually teach via Zoom. I do some Zoom classes, and I charge a low fee. It's not very much, but it still brings in a little bit of revenue for me teaching Spanish. So maybe Mandarin, maybe you can teach Spanish like myself, or maybe you have some other type of language that you can teach that other people are searching for. Another thing would maybe be like guitar lessons. So kind of going back, tapping into your skills and experiences. What things do you know that you could teach via Zoom? So you could teach guitar lessons. Maybe you can tutor people via Zoom. Maybe you have a few students that you know. Maybe you are very knowledgeable when it comes to SAT scores or stuff like that. You could do tutoring via Zoom. Another idea for Zoom is to do consultations. Maybe you know about a certain industry, or you spend a lot of time working in a certain industry, and you can do consultations about that certain thing. So Zoom is a great business that you can do. Very easy. You can just turn on the webcam, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can do it pretty much anywhere that has Wi-Fi. Another business that you could do that's your own business that's very lucrative is a blog. So you could write a blog about a certain niche site. So you could write stuff about certain investments that you do. Maybe you have a certain passion. Maybe you're really into archery. Maybe you are really into photography. A blog is a really good spot, really good place where you can funnel people even from your YouTube channel onto your blog, and you can actually charge advertisers for putting advertisements on your blog. There's a lot of different ways you can monetize a blog, but that's a good opportunity for starting your own business. And for a lot of these though, it is going to take time for these. So if you can start moving towards these things and they can grow to a point where you can actually travel while making money with these, it can be pretty lucrative. Another thing maybe you haven't thought about is real estate investing. So for me, I actually own a 14-unit RV park, and it makes about $7,700 a month in cash flow. And that's one way in which I can travel the world while still making money, is that I have an RV park and I have management and everything's hired out. So maybe you have some real estate investments that you can leverage so that you can travel while still making money. Maybe you have a Airbnb. Maybe you have a house in a certain city and you can hire an Airbnb management team and you just rent out the house and you can travel to and fro and you're still making money. Maybe you have a typical residential 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that you can rent, whatever it is, as like a long-term rental. Real estate to me is I would say real estate is maybe one of the better things that you can have as your own business that can pay you from anywhere in the world. Another idea would be an online brand. So maybe you can do some private labeling. Maybe you can buy stuff from Alibaba for cheap and resell it to a US market. Maybe you can do it on Amazon. A lot of people do private labeling where they'll buy wholesale from Alibaba and they'll resell on Amazon. That's an idea. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with Alibaba. You can start your own clothing brand. There's so many different things you could do in regards to that. However, like I was saying, it does take time to start off. Another thing you could do is maybe online service. So maybe you create a business where you connect personal assistants maybe from other countries like India, where the cost of labor is a little bit lower, and you can connect them with US-based brands, and maybe you're kind of the mediator between those two. Maybe you can actually be a virtual Airbnb host. So maybe you can, check people in and respond to emails and deal with bookings, but you don't necessarily need to be there. Actually, my business partner does this as a side hustle. He actually hosts, he's an Airbnb host, and he responds to emails, and he pretty much sets up the calendar for an investor in the town that we're from. And he's actually not even required to be there, and he hires out a cleaning team and everything, and he kind of checks in with them from time to time, but he doesn't necessarily need to be there. So that's an idea that you could do. Also, if you had maybe like a video production company and you hire videographers that you could get in a certain city or whatever, and you could edit those videos that they take from pretty much anywhere where there's Wi-Fi. You could also do maybe stock trading. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do your own business and make money online while traveling. But I think in retrospect, the most important thing is if you can have Wi-Fi and you can get a cheaper cost of living, you can totally make money while traveling. And that's the power of the internet. That's the power of the day and age in which we live. You can make money online, and you can still get ahead financially while living more flexibly, while living the life that you prefer, while not having to be in the rat race, the 9-to-5, the office life, like so common we see in the US. You can live cheaper and live a more fulfilled life. And even kind of just bouncing back, last thing for starting your own business would be a personal brand. So maybe you can do kind of like a lifestyle, like your daily life, travel vlogs, etc. That way, whatever you're doing, people are still always tuning into you. You're never really going to lose viewership because people are interested in you, not just in the information that you provide. So your name really is the most valuable thing that you can offer. And when people like you, for you, it doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to get paid while you're traveling, wherever you are in the world. So I just wanted to share this video. Hopefully you guys got value out of it. I love talking about, traveling while making money, kind of digital nomad lifestyle, and living the life that you want to live. And I'm hoping that if you're watching this, you can get started in this some way. You can maybe lock a job in, or you could start a YouTube channel, or start investing in real estate, whatever it is. But I wish you the best in your journeys. I appreciate you watching, guys. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're gonna be talking a lot about investing, lifestyle, travel, etc. So you don't wanna miss out on future videos. But I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.